What's up, guys? My name is Ty Zen. Welcome to the cryptocurrency.market channel. This is a trading, investing, and entrepreneurship channel. So if you're not here to learn how to make life-changing profits from trading and investing in cryptocurrencies, then this is probably not the right channel for you, okay? So I want to start this video by reading out a tweet, by a very well-known blockchain cryptocurrency security specialist. He's a dev, okay, named Jameson Lopp. Okay, that's with 2 P's, right? He's very well known, very well respected. He's got a couple 100,000 followers on Twitter, right? And he says, today Bitcoiners celebrate their divorce from terrible ideas and unacceptable compromises. The market has validated this path for 2 years by nearly every conceivable metric. Keyword right there, guys, every conceivable metric. Bitcoin forks offering nearly free transactions struggle to find anyone who cares. Happy UASF Day. Jameson Lopp. Okay, so he tweeted this out at the beginning of August in reference to the fork, the split in the Bitcoin community. There's been an ongoing civil war. In case you guys don't know, there's a part of the community that wants Bitcoin to be a store of value, and there's the original Bitcoiners who want it to be a electronic peer-to-peer cash. Okay, so these two parties in August 1st of 2017 had a huge civil war, and they split up, and one became Bitcoin Core and the other one became Bitcoin Cash. Right now, guys, I am fully aware that Bitcoin Core is the implementation software. I'm fully aware of that, so don't jump on my ass when I call it Bitcoin Core. There are a bunch of versions of Bitcoins out there. So when I say Bitcoin Core, it's in reference to the version that uses the Bitcoin Core wallet, and Bitcoin Cash is the other version. And now Bitcoin Cash split into Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about that. I just want to talk about the reference here to what Jameson Lopp tweeted out about nearly every conceivable metric. Okay, that's the key word there that I want to focus on in this video. In this video, I want to talk about being a Streetsmart trader and a Streetsmart investor. Okay, many of you guys follow our channel because you guys know that we trade out in the real world. We don't just do technical analysis and do fancy stuff on charts and not make any trades. We do a large volume of trades, in the 7-8 figure range. Okay, so it's very common for us to do that. So people follow us because they know that we are not bullshit traders. We actually do what we tweet about and what we talk about in our videos. Okay, so you notice that in our videos we don't talk about, oh, this is a good place to buy this and this coin. We show the chart and we say this is where we are buying and this is where we are selling, and we are buying, we are selling, or we're holding, or we're staying out. Okay, so that's why people follow us. Okay, so before I go into a deep dive about the statement that Jameson Lopp made in his Twitter, I want to share with you guys something that happened to me when I was very young. Okay, many of you guys know that I came to America as a Vietnamese refugee. I grew up very poor in America. I lived in the ghettos. I lived in the poor neighborhoods in America, and I hung around the wrong people. I ended up, messing with drugs, selling drugs, and getting involved in drugs, and I ended up going to prison for nearly 14 years of my life. Okay, it wasn't until in my mid-30s that I got out from prison. I went in at 18 years old, came out in my mid-30s, and when I came out, I had to start my life all over. I focused on learning how to trade because when I was in prison, I discovered that trading was the number one, or at least being a trader and investor was the number one cause of most of the billionaires' wealth on the top 400 billionaires in the world. Okay, they had something to do with the stock market, so I made it a lifetime commitment to become a trader and an investor. Okay, so that's what happened, and that's how I ended up becoming a trader. Okay, now here's a lesson that I want you guys to learn. Okay, when I was in prison for drugs, okay, and by the way, the reason I was in there for drugs was because a friend of mine set me up. He didn't want to do some prison time, and he set up me and a bunch of people. He set us up with drugs. He cooperated with the police, set us up with drugs, and that's how I ended up with the drugs, and I ended up going to prison. Okay. But anyways, when I was in prison, there's a lesson that I want you to share with you guys. When I was in prison, it was survival of the fittest. You had to fight. You had to learn how to, fight people. You had to learn how to use sticks, knives, all kinds of stuff to protect yourself. And since I came in there as a teenager and I almost got raped several times in prison, right? I made it a habit to focus on learning martial arts, learning how to get big and strong. It was all about survival. Like, you didn't have time for anything else in prison except for learning how to survive, okay? So when I was in there, right, I really focused on learning how to get big and strong, and became one of the best trainers in the federal prison system in America, okay? And a lot of people that were at the prison that I was at wanted to get trained by me because they knew that in a very short period of time, I would help them get very big and very strong and very quick, okay? So what happened was I went in there and I was training people, and I remember I was training this one white collar guy, and there's two types of people that go to federal prison. A very small percentage is in there for like tax evasion and a bunch of stupid nonsense that they shouldn't even be in prison for, but they broke the tax laws and they're in there. That's a very small minority of the people in there. About 98% of the people that's in federal prison is in there for drugs or something that's related to drugs, okay? So there was a white collar guy in there that I was training because he wanted to get big and strong so he can protect himself in there. And if you're big and strong, you're a deterrent. Like, having big muscles is a huge deterrent in prison. People don't want to mess with you when they see how big and strong you are, okay? So he had hired me to train him to get big and strong, so that would act as a deterrent from other people. And as I was training him in the gym one day, we don't call it the gym in there, we call it the weight pile, because it's just a slab of concrete out in the middle of nowhere in the prison, and they just throw dumbbells and barbells and plates on there, and you just go and work out. Okay, so we call it the weight pile, which is the gym, the outdoor gym that we worked out in. And while I was at the weight pile, I was training this white collar guy. I was showing him how to get big triceps, okay, big arms, and he'd been working out with me for a few weeks, and I was training him. And he asked me, he goes, "Hey man, what are those gangbangers over there doing, man?" And at that time, I was showing him how to do a tricep extension. That's where you lay on and you hold the bar and you extend it out in front of you, okay? Now, I have, 16.5-inch arms, which is pretty big for an Asian dude, pretty big for just any human being that's, 1.8 meters or 5'11" and a half, okay? So that's pretty big arms for most men that height, okay? And these gangbangers at the time, they had like 19-inch arms, 18-inch arms, 19, 20, 21-inch arms. Now, you got to keep in mind, guys, the biggest professional bodybuilder in the world, right, with the biggest freaking arms out there, barely has over 21-inch arms, and they're juiced up to the max. I mean, they're injecting every conceivable drug that you can imagine to make a human being big, and they barely have over 21-inch arms, okay? And these gangbangers, these Bloods and these Crips that were training on the weight pile that day, these guys had like easily, a few of them had like 20, 21-inch arms easily, just training and eating beans and rice, okay? And no drugs, okay? I can confirm they had no drugs, just off of beans and rice and ramen noodles, they were getting 20, 21-inch arms. And I remember my white collar client asking me, "Hey man, like, what are these guys doing?" Because it looked like they were doing the same similar tricep extension exercise that I had the white collar client doing. And I answered the white collar client, I said, "Hey man," I answered my client, I said, "Nah, those bunch of idiots, all those dumbasses, they don't know what the hell they're doing, those guys are so retarded, some of the exercises they do are so stupid, like nobody does them, like no professional bodybuilder, athlete, or powerlifter would ever do those stupid nonsense exercise, okay?" And I was very condescending towards these dumbass gangbangers, and I call them dumbass not because they're intellectually low or that they're not smart guys or that their workout was stupid. It's just that a lot of these gangbangers do some of the dumbest shit in prison, okay, and even on the streets, and that's why I call them dumbass, okay? And I was being very condescending, and I was talking shit about them when my client was asking me what kind of arm exercise they were doing, right? And after I was done talking crap about those gangbangers and how they were working out stupid and everything, my client made a comment that stuck with me, and it really punched me hard in the stomach with his comment. He said, man, you know, they do have some massive arms, Ty. And I was young at that time. I was in my early 20s. I had a huge ego. I thought, you know, I knew everything about working out. I knew everything about how to get somebody big, strong, and fast, right? Because I was very well known for that in the prison. And the workout crew I had was the strongest workout crew. We were working out. We were squatting, deadlifting 500, 600, 700 pounds, you know, off of beans and rice. No creatine, no steroids, no nothing, right? So because we were able to accomplish this, you know, I was very, very cocky and very arrogant at that time. And I refused to believe that these dumbass gangbangers actually knew more about training people and how to get people bigger and stronger than I did, you know, because I did not see anybody in there training other people, consistently getting them big and strong like I did. So that was the reason why I was so cocky and arrogant, right, when I was young. But when that white collar guy told me that, man, they do have some massive arms, Ty, you gotta give them credit for that, right? I mean, it's right in front of us. It had me thinking, you know, I went home that night in my cell and I was thinking, you know, it just had me irritated, and my ego was just, you know, I was puffing out my chest and everything. It really bothered me, you know, that I thought I was the best trainer, and for him to say that these guys had bigger arms, which meant to me that they must know how to work out better, okay? So it really kind of chapped my hide. It really got on my nerves, and it really bothered me that he said that. But the reason why it bothered me was because I knew that there was some truth to it, because there was not too many human beings that can have 19, 20, 21 inch arms, and I knew that that is out of the ordinary. I knew that that was like massive, and these guys had the strength to back it up too. It's not like all these juice heads, these professional bodybuilders that have 20 inch arms and they don't have the strength to back it up. Like these gangbangers, the guys in prison that have 20 inch arms, they have the strength to back up the reason why they have those arms. It's not like these soft ass bodybuilders that juice up and they got big old 20 inch arms, but they don't have the strength to back it up. The guys in prison, when they have 20 inch arms, they got the strength to back it up, okay? So not only do their muscles look big, but they actually have the strength to do what their muscles look like they can do, okay? Not like these professional bodybuilders who juice up and then they don't have the strength to back it up, okay? So it bothered me because I'm thinking like, man, you know what? There was a really tiny part of me, even though my ego was huge at that time, there was a tiny part of me that said, what if these guys were doing something and it did work? What if these dumbasses that I keep calling a dumbass, what if their methods, their strategies actually work to get my arms bigger, right? And it really bothered me, so I waited until a Sunday and I went out there to the weight pile when no one was out there. I went out there early and I went and I tried the exercises myself. These stupid ass exercises that these gangbangers keep doing, like they all do them, right? But they also had massive arms too. And after the first set, my arms were about to explode. They were so pumped up that they were about to explode. My triceps felt like there was another, like, animal, like an animal growing outside the back of my arms, right? And I did the second set, and after the third set, I was like, this is enough, right? And I had been working out for a long time, so it would take a lot for me to feel that kind of stimulation in the back of my arms, okay? And as I was doing it, and you know, there was a part of my ego that said, "No, this is just a bullshit exercise. Why am I wasting my time doing this?" But how my muscles felt was completely different. Like, you know, in my heart, my ego down here, my ego was telling me that this is a bullshit exercise. Why am I wasting time doing this? If other people catch me doing these stupid ass exercises that the gangbangers do, I would be considered a retard just like them. But then, how I could barely move my arms after the third set, and I realized, man, like, this is a massive stimulation in the arms, and that this is very, very effective, right? And eventually I realized after the third set, man, you know what? These exercises do work, but the only downside to it is that it really screws up your rotator cuffs. And I realized that if I just move my elbows just slightly, move it about 3 or 4 degrees, that it will eliminate the stress on my rotator cuffs, and that this what I thought was a bullshit exercise actually would become a very, very effective exercise for my triceps, okay? And moving forward, I started to implement that. I started doing it myself, and then slowly I started implementing it in my long-term clients, and they all felt the same way, okay? I moved the angle of the elbows just slightly, and I was able to reduce the amount of stress on my rotator cuff and have it focus just on the triceps alone, and that was massive. And immediately within like 3, 4, 5 months, all my long-term clients that I had been trained for many years, they all noticed a significant increase in strength, and they can feel that their arms are harder and slightly bigger, right? And I thought to myself, man, like how stupid was I that right in front of me this whole time, these guys that I thought were just retarded, they were doing these exercises and they were all walking around with 19, 20, 21 inch arms, and I refused to do it because I thought that they were stupid and retarded gangbangers. So I let their lifestyle dictate how I should work out my arms instead of looking at the results of their arms and determining whether or not I should do that exercise, okay? So why am I sharing this with you guys? I'm sharing this with you guys because I want you guys to become a street smart trader and a street smart investor, okay? Being a street smart trader and investor means that your eyes can see the reality and interpret it and understand it and go, oh, you know what? Despite what everyone was telling me, here is the reality in front of my eyes. I'm looking at it myself, okay? And that's the problem that we have in the cryptocurrency space now. We have a lot of people that they see the reality, but they won't accept it. And being a street smart person means that you can see the reality, despite what everyone says, here you are looking at the reality, and you realize that it's not what other people are saying. I'll use another example. When I went to school in America, man, I went to these white schools, they would tell us, if you smoke weed, you're gonna die. Like, it's harmful, it's dangerous, it's devastating, it's poisonous, all these things they said. When I went out into the real world, after I dropped out of high school and I went out into the real world and I saw how many people were smoking weed, I had no clue that there was this many people in America smoking weed, okay? And none of them was dying. None of them was dying. Matter of fact, in the ghetto neighborhood that I lived in, all my neighbors were smoking crack, using cocaine, injecting heroin, and none of them were dying. None of them were dying, okay? They've been doing it for years and decades right in front of my eyes, and I never knew it because I was so naive. I was so naive in school that I believed everything that they taught me in the school, okay? And when I went out into the real world, then that's when I saw how reality was. So what I'm sharing with you guys in this video is to always trust your eyes and what you see in front of you, the reality, okay? And think about it before you listen to the people who are not doing it. And when you guys see the people who are doing it in reality, to believe that before you believe the people who have not done it, okay? So let me turn on my phone, go back to this tweet by Jameson Lopp, okay? When he says that today Bitcoiners celebrate their divorce from terrible ideas and unacceptable compromises, the market has validated this path for 2 years. He says that the market has validated the path for 2 years by nearly every conceivable metric. And I'm going to stop there. He says every conceivable metric, okay? The one metric that he's not looking at, and the one metric that all these dumbass Bitcoin maximalists refuse to look at, is that Bitcoin is no longer being used as a transactional currency. Like, people are not using it no more, right? And when I first started, when me and my team first got into Bitcoin back in 2012, 2013, we were going around, and every person that we preached about Bitcoin to, we would tell them, hey, download the Bitcoin wallet. We would send them a fraction of a Bitcoin, like $2, $3 worth of Bitcoin. We would send them $1 worth of Bitcoin, and we would sit there and say back and forth, 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 right? And we show them, and everybody would be like, wow, that's pretty cool, right? Nowadays, you can't do that no more. You cannot even go and buy a burrito or a cup of coffee with your Bitcoin wallet no more. You gotta set up some bullshit Lightning Network node, and then from that bullshit Lightning Network node, hopefully you figure out how to set that up. Good luck with trying to set that up. Good luck with that for a normal, non-technical person like myself and others out there to try to figure out how to set that up, okay? Good luck with that. We go and try to set that up and use it, and it doesn't work. Why? Because it's not that easy, okay? My team went and we researched how to set Lightning node, and we looked at it and we realized, hey man, the biggest Lightning node only had a few Bitcoins in there. What if we go in there and for marketing reasons, we set up the biggest Lightning node network, biggest Lightning node, put $50,000 or $100,000 worth in there. And that way, for marketing reasons, we can claim and say that we run the biggest Lightning node. Man, we spent weeks on trying to set that shit up. We spent weeks trying to set the Lightning node, okay? And guess what? Couldn't figure out how to set it up. It was too damn difficult, and the risk in setting it up was too high, because if we did it wrong and we lose our Bitcoins, it wasn't worth it. So what happened was we just gave it up, right? And you might say, hey Ty, that's because you're a high school dropout, you're a freaking dumbass, and you don't know math and science, and I completely 100% agree with you on that. I'm not gonna deny that I'm retarded, I'm not that good in math and science, okay? I'm going to agree with you on that. But think about this for a moment. If we started one of the first Bitcoin trading and investing channels on the internet, one of the first channels on the internet, and we ourselves were one of the first channels to promote and talk about Bitcoin, and we are not able to set up a Lightning node, how the rest of the world gonna set it up? How the rest of the people out there gonna set it up? Right, wait, you need to have a PhD in computer science to set up a Lightning node? I don't think so. I don't think that's how Satoshi Nakamoto intended it. So that's why I'm making this video, guys. When you look at what Jameson Lopp says, and he says about every conceivable metric, the one metric that he fails to look at is like, ain't nobody using it. Ain't nobody using Bitcoin as a currency anymore, right? And for some reason, he fails to overlook that. And for some reason, all the Bitcoin maximalists out there, right, they overlook the fact that no one is using Bitcoin as a transactional, as a currency anymore. Which is, and then people go, oh, you know, it's a store of value. It's a store of value. It's digital gold. Bullshit. On the goddamn white paper, it says peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Peer-to-peer electronic cash system. I was born in Vietnam. I learned English in America. I've been speaking English for 40 freaking years, over 40 years. And you know what? I could have my English wrong. It's possible that I'm a high school dropout, that I suck at English grammar and English and everything, and I could misunderstand the words peer-to-peer. Peer meaning person to person. Peer-to-peer means person to person, an individual to an individual, okay? If you want to send an individual to an institution or an organization, that's fine. But peer-to-peer, one person, one human being to another human being, okay? Electronic cash. Cash, hey, everybody knows cash with. If you don't know what cash is, you shouldn't be listening to this video. You can go learn that first, okay? Cash, a means of transaction, a means of, you know, transacting value, okay? Peer-to-peer electronic cash system, okay? And in the white paper, they say people can enter and leave at any time. Not much technical skills required, okay? Now I have to figure out how to set up a Lightning node and all this other dumb shit, and so I can use it. How come none of these guys are looking at that one conceivable metric that no one is using it as a transactional currency anymore, okay? That's what I want to share with you guys, okay? Mình phải sắn qua cái đường bên đây đó nha anh. Không có qua bên này, mình qua bên đây nè, đường này nó vô không được.
Nó quay đầu mà.
Vô ở dưới cái cầu á. Ok. Bởi lúc mà anh có câu hỏi đó, nó có câu hỏi trước cái cầu đó, mình sắn qua tay phải á. Okay. So I want to end this video, guys, by asking you guys to become a street smart trader and investor. A lot of people ask me, hey Ty, you know, you put nearly all your life savings into Bitcoin back in 2013. How come you don't own any Bitcoins right now? The reason why I don't own any Bitcoins right now, guys, is because it has failed. It is not being used the way that it's supposed to be used anymore, okay? Now, do I wish that the Lightning Network fails? No. Do I wish that Bitcoin fails? No. I wish that it actually succeeds, so it can go back to being a transactional currency the way it was intended to be, so that more people can use it and more people can be, you know, access to finances around the world and do it the way that it was intended. And that was how it was able to spread worldwide like wildfire because of that. I don't know what the future for Bitcoin is, but what I do know is this. I don't own any because I see so many dozens of other coins that can do a 10x before Bitcoin does. That's the main reason, okay? I put a crap load of money into Tezos, into Decred, into Bitcoin Cash, into Bitcoin SV, and all those coins I see is capable of doing a 10x long before Bitcoin does, okay? So I invite you guys to really think about this. Like when you guys are investing into a coin, right? Are you looking at the realities of that coin, or are you looking at the fantasy? Are you being a street smart trader, guys? Are you being a street smart investor? If you aren't, right, why aren't you? Why aren't you looking at the reality that's right in front of your face instead of thinking about some, BS fantasy out there? Okay? So, thanks for watching this video, guys. If you guys want to learn how to speed up your trading and investing skills and learn from our mistakes and not repeat them so you can make life-changing profits sooner so that you can retire early, go to www.cryptocurrency.market/blueprint and get you a copy of our cryptocurrency investing blueprint, and that will supercharge and turbocharge and shortcut your way to trading and investing in the cryptocurrency space. Stop trying to figure it out on your own, right? Go get you a copy today and learn how to do it right, okay? And increase your probability and your odds of making life-changing profits so you can retire early and young like we did, okay? Thanks for watching this video. Go get you a copy of the Cryptocurrency Investing Blueprint today and follow me on Twitter at HeyTaiZen, okay? If I'm wrong about this, if I don't see it correctly, leave your comments below. Leave some logic, reasoning, and facts. Don't leave your feelings, okay? I don't want your snowflake feelings, okay? Don't leave your feelings, because I'm probably not going to respond to them, okay? Leave facts, reasoning, and logic if you see that I'm wrong about this, okay? I'm open. I'll take a look at it if you present facts and logic. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.